meetings this packed in a while. Is he listening to the people?
I don't think that he necessarily is. They, meaning him and his progressive allies, came in with a very strict agenda that they're following to the T. But to that point, I want to thank our mayor for uniting the city in a way that we haven't seen since the 96 Bulls, and that's against him and this progressive agenda.
Oh, I love that. Tell me this. I only got about 15 seconds left. Do you think that the voters there are going to respond at the ballot box?
Absolutely. We are looking forward to bringing back Donald John Trump Sr. as our 47th president. He's the only president who has a plan to close the southern border, which is going to cut off the pipeline of human and drug trafficking that's flooding the west side of Chicago. And we cannot wait to get you back in office, Mr. President. Please come see us in Chicago.
P. Ray Easley, a message to Donald Trump as well to come see the people.
Yes.
Thank you so much, man.
What's going on, guys? We back again with another video. Choo choo.
Zaza.
Okay, look. What we finna do today is we finna break down exactly what the issue is with this Chicago Red movement, with this Blacks for Trump, all of this stuff that's happening in Chicago, because we seen it in real time. So we gonna break it down to you, as honest Christian conservatives. We're gonna break it down to you,
And that's it.
And that's all it is. So
because we're seeing communism. I'm smelling communism.
It's
communist ideologies.
It's reeking
and
of
I'm not
communism.
liking it.
It's reeking of communism from the right, of all places. But so this is what we're gonna do. So my good sis, quotations, went to City Hall and she went viral for it. She went and gave a speech, and we're gonna listen to the speech and we're gonna let you know what we think after this. So here we go.
I'm P. Ray of the 37th Ward. Chicago Red is our organization. Because we started this session with a prayer, I want to start my comment with a scripture. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, "But if any provide not for his own, and specifically for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." So I want to talk to y'all today about not going to hell. In the 37th Ward, there was a family, the Jones family.
Okay, so before we get into the story, let's talk about the verse. Let's rehear the verse.
Start my comment with the scripture. 1 Timothy 5:8 says, "But if any provide not for his own, and specifically for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." So I want to talk to y'all today.
So basically, take care of yours. Make your bed first. Take care of what you got going on. That's the baseline of it. So let's see where we go from here.
About not going to hell. In the 37th Ward, there was a family, the Jones family. Amarie Jones was standing in her family building that they've owned for 40 years, doing a TikTok dance with her mother. A bullet came through the window, hit her in the neck. She fell to the ground in front of her mother and bled to death. A month ago, on the Chicago mugshot page, her mother was on that page. Her mother had on her daughter's Rest in Peace t-shirt. She washed it so many times that it was completely faded out. She was completely high, out of her mind, and the charge was possession. Now, the first $51 million that this council gave to the migrants came from the Opioid settlement funds. I am here on behalf of the Jones family, on behalf of the 37th Ward, on behalf of Black Chicago, on behalf of the entire city, to ask you all to vote no and put that money back in the opioid settlement fund. We need that money in my neighborhood. We need that on my block. That woman should not be at Cook County Jail because she's grieving over a random act of violence that caused her to lose her child in front of her face, when the city of Chicago has millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to give to people who ain't paid a dime into the tax base. We've been in my building for 52 years. We're about to pay some more taxes. The Jones family has been in their building for 45 years, paying taxes every year on time. So I'm asking y'all to use our tax money for our people. We need it. We got people leaning.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So let's unpack this.
Yeah.
So she brings up the Amari Jones case of a kid getting shot in the neck through a bullet flying through the window. Let's go through. We pulled up the case, right?
2020.
This is in 2020. This is 4 years ago, right? 13-year-old girl who was wounded along with 2 other teens in the shooting in the Southside Austin community. Amari Jones was pronounced dead shortly after being shot the night before. Police in the Cook County Medical Examiner office said, you know,
when it happened,
yeah,
2 teenage boys were sitting on a porch when another man saw a red laser light pointed at him and heard multiple gunshots.
Right. So this is the case, right? 4 years ago. You would think that the highlight of her bringing this case up is the random act of violence, the random gunshots coming through her window, which was more than likely from another black person because they beefing, they kids. They was aiming at kids, 15 to 16 years old. That's no. We're not talking about that. We're going to talk about the mother doing drugs and getting arrested by the police because doing opioids is a crime. You the point that she brought up was to condemn the police for arresting her for doing opioids. And then she brought up the opioid what is this? The opioid settlement case, right? 51 million came from the opioid settlement case. Opioid settlement meaning if you overdose from taking opioids, you can get paid from it. So they're rewarding you for overdosing on drugs, and you want that money to go back into our community. First off, the fact that that even exists is crazy. The fact that there's even we're paying for that opioid settlement. So you go and get you some opioids, whether it's from your pharmaceuticals or you get it off the black market or where, however you get it. You take your drugs and you overdose on it, and so there's a settlement fund just sitting there. You could just file a claim and get paid from it. And Jewel Osco, Walgreens, any place that has a pharmacy has to pay for it. So the fact that that's even there is crazy. So now we have this communist fund where you could just pretty much be a martyr and get paid for it, right? You want that money to go back into the hood, and the reasoning for that is because a little girl got shot in the neck and her mom started doing opioids.
Yeah.
4 years before we were having a migrant crisis.
And another thing I want to add is that if we go into this, it explains that basically, let me summarize it. Okay. City of Chicago was appropriating millions of dollars more to deal with the influx of migrants coming from the southern border. The additional $51 million in appropriation comes from opioid and vaping settlement funds and is expected to last a few months. The measure passed Wednesday. So they basically passed something that said that $51 million of the opioid settlement fund needs to be going to migrants, to caring for migrants who may or may not be coming over here also overdose, which is interesting because you were saying, like, they could basically get settlements from these American corporations, and it's like, okay, if you ain't from America, you just come over here, and I guess once you become a citizen, you can just take advantage of the stuff that we have here, and that's communism. And Miss P. Ray is on the screen basically saying, like, oh, that's supposed to be going to us, so that money's supposed to be going, put that money back into the settlement. Well, it's not going to go back in there because y'all voted for a commie mayor who was attributing that to migrants. He said he was going to put the migrants above us. That was like what he was running on. So it's not really like secret. And
your good sis, Lori Lightfoot, that it's been here before Brandon Johnson. Like, right. It was here under her.
She was the mayor when that happened.
Right. She was the mayor when this came into place. So again, y'all been making the same mistakes up until this point, and now you blaming the migrants for the opioids when we had an opioid settlement fund because we were already having the opioid crisis. The thing is,
you can still get a settlement if you overdose. So it's not like it's something that's no longer being accessible to black people.
Right.
So for her to just be, what I'm hearing is that money should have never been taken out. It doesn't matter because it's all ours. So the fact that we give it to them, that's the problem. We want what they have now. That's it. And she's using one very isolated situation, which is somebody's mom deciding to have possession of whatever drug she had possession of got charged for it, and ended up on the Chicago mugshot website,
which we couldn't find, by the way.
I was unable to find that. But it's like she used that as an argument for migrants. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was just all over the place. But I believe that the reason that this went viral is because the way she went on camera and the way she spent that narrative is exactly how a narrative is spent. It's exactly like, yeah, well, there was this horrible crime, but let's go into the history, or let's go into everything around the crime and try to figure out what happened. It's like, no, focus on the crime, focus on this right here, focus on the little girl getting shot in the neck. And that was a speed bump in her argument. That was literally a speed bump. And she moved right past it.
In the article, let's go to the article right quick. I scrolled down to where it said no one was in custody Sunday. 4 detectives are investigated. So I highly doubt that this ever got solved. Nobody knows who killed that girl. Right. It's just another thing that happened in Chicago. Snitches get stitches, so you better not say nothing about if you know what happened.
And the little girl is just being brought up in a conversation about what her mother did after she passed.
Because she was grieving. Grief is not an excuse to break the law.
And I do also want to note that she said the girl, and it's just like when you look this stuff up, it's like you just see how much of it is cap, because she said the girl died on the scene. It said that she was in it said she went to the hospital in critical condition. And then she said, oh, the mother lays in that spot where the mother still lays in that spot where she died, but she didn't even die in that spot. But I thought she was in jail, so how is she laying in that spot? So it's like,
she didn't. Apparently, she just had a mugshot. Okay, you got a mugshot, she got arrested, but that doesn't mean you went to prison or jail.
Right. So she got arrested for it, got off for it. It seemed like nothing really happened because that was the end of the story, and we can't even find this case because we will have the information for you. But from the information presented, it seems like she got arrested for it, got off, got a mugshot, and that was the worst thing that happened. And now you're using her and her daughter's grief or their trauma to try to argue that opioid settlement fund is supposed to.
People are grieving and they need their drugs, so we need our settlement. We still need our taxpayer money. That's the communism we're talking about.
We need our drugs and we need that money.
Her entire argument is not against Brandon Johnson was solely because of some very, very specific instance that basically sounds like money needs to be going to us, my people, Black Chicago. That's
what she said.
Like, y'all heard her say Black Chicago, like, that's segregationist. It's just a mess. And we getting lumped in with this because we also are from Chicago. We'll be out of Chicago in less than 10 days.
And this is why we do these videos, because
don't be fooled.
Yeah, you can't be fooled by this stuff, man. The discernment has to be so high, and now the communism is coming on the right. This is crazy.
It's seeming like it's a lot of DEI in the conservative movement.
Yeah, it is.
Just saying.
In peace T-shirt.
And I want to note that we went to the city hall with our MAGA hats first.
Right. She watched it so many times that it was completely faded out. She was
right. So again, all of this right here, everything, all these details and stuff, critical race theory. There's no way to confirm none of this stuff. There's no way to confirm it. We just pointed out that some of the things she said was just false.
And she wasn't there.
So
anything she is repeated was repeated by a lady who's apparently strung out on drugs. Right. So it's like, rest in peace to the girl. Because it's unfortunate that her mom had her in this commie ass city and she got shot through the neck. That's crazy. I mean, she was in a horrible area. But niggas did it, and that's what's not being addressed. There's a culture problem. It's not because it's just the excuses, man.
And bringing.
It's not because I don't even understand why this is coming up. Honestly,
it's so
to justify. It seemed like it was just something to pull our heartstrings.
That's exactly what it was.
It was just a very dramatic story that ended. Oh yeah, and the mom got charged for crack or whatever charge she was doing.
That's exactly what it was, because the only reason she brought it up was to make you emotional, and that's what she threw the details in there, the critical race theory, the time to kill, all of the black movies that we watch where they got all the super details that just really don't make no sense when you really think about it. But they black, so you believe them, and you can't deny that they went through this. And it's just like, well, I'm denying it. I'm sorry.
It's cap.
It's cap.
We're here.
It's cap. It's cap. I'm sorry. I'm not finna lie. And what's going on here is looking like cap, man. And that's why I think that's why this went viral, because it's propaganda. It's propaganda.
That's the crazy part.
Was completely high, out of her mind, and the charge was possession. Now, the first $51 million that this council gave to the migrants came from the opioid settlement funds.
She just made the jump from the lady getting shot, the daughter getting shot in the neck, and the woman getting booked on drugs. Now she's finna use that to argue that we need more money and drugs. Like, what are we talking about?
I am here on behalf of the Jones family, on behalf of the 37th Ward, on behalf of Black Chicago, on behalf of the entire city, to ask you all to vote no and put that money back in the opioid settlement fund.
Right, put that money back in the settlement fund so we can get it when we overdose. That's what she's saying. This is what she's saying. The fund should have never been there in the first place. Why is there a fund set up? Where is this money coming from?
Taxpayers.
It's coming from us. So why is this fund set up to help these people after they overdose on opioids, which is a super, super personal decision? Now, granted, people go through stuff, and I understand that you're looking for it out. But again, that is a personal decision. If you choose to do drugs,
It's your choice.
it's your choice.
It sounds just like how they used to say, like, when crack was a thing, and like, oh, black people were just victims of the crack that was in our communities. It was like, okay, a lot of y'all niggas decided y'all wanted to sell drugs for whatever reason.
right, y'all still selling crack.
So it's like, whose fault is that? Should taxpayers be paying for your situation?
Apparently,
Or
that's
should
what they
you be
think.
trying to fix the culture so that it stops being a problem?
That's what they think. They think is you. I don't know, man. I'm really lost for words because none of this is making sense. Well, no, it's actually making sense. I'm just like, I can't believe that she thinks this makes sense. I'm trying to rationalize how she thought that, but I'm almost thinking that she's like calculated because she planned it, right? You know, she's trying to play the media. She's doing the trauma dump, but I can't believe that she's doing it on purpose. I genuinely believe, because this is how black people talk every day. This is how they talk every day. They always bring, when you ask them about an instance of something, you just hear the stories and you're like, this nigga lying. Is he lying to me? But you can't say nothing because it's a personal story. It happened to me. I know somebody it happened to. And you just be like, okay, I guess I got to take your word for it. Right? But see, the thing, when you bring up cases, right? When you bring up actual cases and stuff that's researchable, and you research, you be like, so they was lying.
And then another thing I want to peep, that I peeped when we was watching this video, was that it sounded like she was abbreviating LaWanda's name as if she knew her personally. So,
Yeah.
seeming like this is just some hearsay.
It is some hearsay because, again, we tried to look this stuff up. We found out that her name was LaWanda.
She said LaWanda.
LaWanda.
She said LaWanda and Wanda in this video.
Right.
That's when I was like, okay. That's
Yeah,
interesting
we
thing to
cannot
do about it. Person you don't know.
We cannot find the LaWanda case. We couldn't find it.
We need that money in my neighborhood. We need that on my block. That woman should not be at Cook County Jail because she's grieving over a random act of violence that caused her to lose her child in front of her face, when the city of Chicago has millions upon millions upon millions of...
So did you go protest to find a killer?
No.
Did you do that?
Because he's still on the loose.
Because
Or
he's
he
still
dead.
out here, unless he got killed by another killer, right? You know, because that's what happens. But no. We go to City Hall because our tax dollars, which was already taken for the fund, might I add, it's already gone. The settlement, they have $51 million to give because they already took it. They already took it. So now you're like, oh, the money that you guys took, and you say you're going to use for us when we overdose, you can't give it to them for overdosing. They're not citizens. But you voted for the mayor that said he was going to prioritize them. He said, I love migrants. He said, the immigrants were black too. you know, the slaves were immigrants. You immigrated to Chicago, and he gaslighted y'all into voting for him, and y'all did it. And now y'all crying about some money from a fund that shouldn't have existed in the first place. Y'all, you're grasping for straws, man. It doesn't
very
make any sense.
commie-like.
It's extremely commie-like.
The dollars to give to people who ain't paid a dime into the tax base.
Right, that's the problem. Your problem is that they didn't pay a dime. Not that the fund exists in the first place.
No.
No. It's that
It's always somebody else.
It's literally, bro.
It's just all covetous. Very covetous reasoning for why these people want to go red. It's not because they're anti-communism. That's the problem. And it's like, okay, well, yeah. Are y'all actually gonna turn Chicago red, or y'all gonna vote for Trump and then vote the next commie who runs in this city in because he's black?
Yeah.
And all he gotta do is get up there and talk about reparations.
Yep.
Then y'all vote for him, no problem.
Yep.
Y'all would never see a problem with doing that. And that's another thing.
Yep.
Reparations.
Yep.
And the thing is, she was trying to comfort you in a conversation you were having about reparations. Like we've seen her thought process, so we're not just making this up. The evidence is here, but we also have experienced it personally.
We've had dialogue with these people. So,
yes, they talk to us because we're here. They're like they calling our phones, telling us how much they love us. They love what we do,
but don't know how we actually think.
But they don't even understand. It's like y'all are commies too.
Yeah, you're a part
y'all,
of the problem.
Y'all are trying to be better because the thing is, a typical Negro would call her a coon.
Yeah, and don't even know. They
don't think what she's saying. They don't even care about what she's saying because all they see is the Chicago red and the MAGA hat.
Yeah,
that's the craziest part of it all. It's like it's too easy for a black person to just be able to hijack their way into the conservative movement.
Yeah, and
all they gotta do is put a hat on. And that's what I say about it. I'm like, did y'all even pay attention to our actual walkaway video?
No, I don't think nobody really watched it because these folks are Democrats with red hats on. That's what it is, man.
You can tell.
I'm calling a spade a spade. You see right here, this is Democrat tactics, this propaganda, this race baiting, this trauma dumping. It's all Democrat practices. These are tactics that they use. These are communist tactics. You see, like making it seem like mass press. You got all the camera phones out, right? You got it's on the news, right? You got the people behind making it seem like it's support. It's all propaganda. It's all for show. It's all for show because they're gonna vote for Trump. They're gonna vote the next communist mayor in because he's talking about reparations.
And we just watched all about Brandon Johnson. I don't know if she voted for Brandon Johnson, but the people who think like her voted for Brandon Johnson for sure.
Either that. See, that's the thing. You only voted for Trump because of the border thing. Are you gonna vote where it matters in your governor, your alderman, your congressman, your mayor? No, you're not gonna. They're not gonna do that. You can tell
the values based on what they say.
We're seeing how they think. We're seeing a thought process right here. They don't stand a chance, bro. They don't stand a chance. I don't think these politicians are lying. They've been pretty straightforward. We told y'all Brandon Johnson was gonna be doing this. When we talked to black folks around us, who you voting for? Oh yeah, some, but you ultimately said, well, at least he's not that racist white man. That's literally what it ended on. At least he's not the racist white man. Really?
And that's why you gotta let that blackness die. Literally. Because if you thinking yourself as black above everything else, then
you're gonna stumble every time. Black people don't stand a chance against this propaganda, man. They don't stand a chance.
They literally they programmed your identity.
To be black is to be controlled. The Democrats bought and sold your blackness. When Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, he was serious.
It wasn't a joke.
It wasn't a joke. He was serious. You see right here that just because you on the right, you're not safe from it because you're still black. And when we say you're still black, this is black.
Yep.
This right here is still black. So no matter what, you're still going to be fiending off critical race theory. And no matter how Republican you try to be and try to rationalize, oh, I agree with the Republicans or whatever. No, you're still black. So once they just fine tune it a little bit, you're going to fall for the next propaganda. And now you're on the right producing propaganda.
And they sharing it.
And they sharing it. You went viral for propaganda. Well, what do we know? We coons. We goons.
Yeah, so we ain't associated with the whole Chicago Reds thing. Like we said, we wore the Trump hats first to say y'all, like, not even joking. We were the only ones there.
Yeah, we went for the. They were supposed to have a migrant hearing. You know what? We ended up going. We went super early, and they didn't have a migrant meeting until later after we left because we stayed up all night.
It
we
was your
prepping.
birthday.
Yeah, we was prepping and stuff, and we was like, we got to go home. We've been here too long. We was falling asleep in there, just waiting for anything to happen, waiting for us to get a chance to speak. It was a waste of time, but
They took pictures of us.
yeah, they took pictures of us and spread them across the internet.
And blurred our faces out.
Right. So, guys, when we just trying to show you what it is. Please let us know what you think. If you think we overreacting, and if we're capping about something, please let us know in the comments. But when we saw this, we was like, wow, people are eating this up. Y'all conservatives, y'all white conservatives are eating this up.
Except for that one base
it.
comment we saw. Go to the base comment.
It was one base comment. Hold on.
It's very few base comments under the video.
She doesn't care about American issues, only her people, aka blacks. Nope, next. Clearly. She said this money need to be back in our neighborhoods, in my neighborhood, on my block. Who is she talking about? Black people.
On the west side.
On the west side.
Together.
It's this collective thinking. When we went to go meet up with the blacks, the Chicago Go Red, when they had their meeting and we took pictures with Dom Lucer and Mark Carter, and we was in the meeting, the press conference, whatever it's called, the first thing he said was, we don't do anything as an individual. We move as a collective.
Literally.
That's communist. What do you mean you don't do stuff as an individual? So right then and there, we looked at each other. We was like, what the hell? Is he serious?
You should go to the video.
Dude, hold on. We're gonna find the video. We're not lying to you, bro. Okay, so here's the video. Here's the press conference, right?
It's back in like February.
You can see this is me right here, and Zaza is right here, right behind him. So listen to what he says, right?
Thank us for coming out, because without us, we're nothing. Individual success is not success. Collective is. Group is. Us, we.
Bro, do you see Zakia's eyes, bro? Do you see her eyes?
Oh my god, my fucking
Look at her
face.
eyes. I don't know if y'all can see how
Y'all gotta
see it
see
clearly.
the side eye I gave.
Dude, she gave me a side that was so crazy because we was like,
What
did you
if you didn't hear the communism in that, you're not a real conservative.
like, did you hear what he said? The first thing he said.
Individual success is not success.
Individual success.
No,
not success.
even before
Without
that,
us, we
without us, we nothing.
Us being black people.
Us being black people.
It was all black.
They don't
people.
care about all America. Clearly, they worried about black people, and they say it.
Without us, we nothing. Individual success is not success. Collective is.
That's right. The ad libs in the back, like Boondocks. That's right.
This lady got a mask
Group
on.
is. Us.
Right. She got a mask on,
Now look at my face. Look at my face.
bro. You can. I paused it. Right. Look at her. Zakia's like, whoa. Did we walk into a communist headquarters?
We. That's the success.
That's the success.
Now, with us starting this Going Red campaign, it initially came from. Thank us.
Yeah, bro.
It was not a good.
That-
it was
that-
literally the first. We had just got
Dude,
there.
we had just got there. That was, again, you see, he just set up, and that was the first thing he said. It's communist, bro. It's communist.
And if you can't see that, well,
Are you not an individual? You have to be able to stand alone.
that literally goes against the verse she read at the beginning.
Yeah. It goes again. If you can't fix what you got going on yourself, then you're a traitor to whatever the verse she said. You got to do it yourself. Do it to yourself first. Fix yourself first. But they're like, no, we got to fix us first. No. What, like, see, the thing is, you're only as strong as your weakest link.
Yep.
If you're not working on yourself to be the strongest link, how the hell are you going to help everybody else get strong if y'all all trying to collectively build up? It does. No. Everybody does their job. It's like with football. Everybody has a job. Do your job. If everybody focus and do your job to the best of their ability, our team would be better. You're not sitting there thinking about what the next man is doing. No. Do your job. If the next man messes up, you'll see very clearly that he messed up, and you'll be able to fix it. But if y'all all just tying y'all fates together, that's a recipe for disaster.
Literally. But what do we know, right?
Right, but we young. We young. It's fine. It's fine.
Sound like a cult to me. I feel like it was a cult.
It's a cult. It's a cult. I'm sorry. These are nice people.
I think they're better than most.
No, they are better than most black people.
Average Negro, because the average Negro doesn't even care about politics. They ain't even they don't think there's any issues in their community, and they gonna vote for the very next person they put to run in office because they black, especially if they put a black woman. Oh, it is what it is.
Black people don't stand a chance. They don't stand a chance. Yeah. So
just call me how we see it.
Again, just calling a spade a spade. Please let us know if we tweaking or not. With the evidence that we just provided, clearly we're not tweaking. If you enjoy it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out her page as well. Locked In with Zaza. Hit the little bell notification. We're trying to get to 2,000 subs, and we catch you guys in the next video. Peace.